Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Death card. This is a very intense card. Now, don't get scared. Don't change the channel. This card very rarely actually means death, right? They call it death because they want to get your attention. This is really the card of change, right? It's the card of change. The fundamental force of the universe is change. Nothing ever stays the same. Nothing is ever silent. Nothing is ever still. Nothing is ever not hurtling through space at astronomical speeds, right? Including us. And we're not objects. We are not static energy. And it may seem like it. I may be able to say, well, this table is solid. It's not moving anywhere. This table on a molecular or quantum level even is all energy and mostly empty space, whatever that means. Right now, I'm no physicist. I don't know too much about these things, but that's the Death card. Everything is in flux, right? Everything is changing. Usually, the Death card is perceived as a slow and gradual change. Okay, so let's see what else is going on with this card and see what we've got. Look at that. This is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is those kind of the good old days. Right? The Six of Cups is all about us remembering the good times that we've had. And now we see that there is this change, transformation, this death energy leading toward these good old days. Right? I think this is really a lot of changes happening in your life for the better. A lot of things. This is a return to these blissful, tranquil, beautiful moments that you remember, right? That you've had before. Yeah, we're returning to this perfect, blissful state. And I like that very much. Here we've got the Knight of Cups. Now we've got the Justice or Adjustment card. Interesting with the Knight of Wands and a Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, this is good. I feel like this is an ending of sorts. This is, you're moving away from some sort of... if this was a job or if this was a partnership, it could be a marriage, something kind of binding and legal and formal and professional now is being dissolved, and you're feeling so much better for it because now you can actually pursue those things that give you pleasure, that have value to you. Now you can make your own money. Now you can do those things with your life that you really want to do that have value for you because this commitment's over. This is a contract that is expired. Okay, very, very cool. We've got the World or Universe card. We've got the Empress card. You got all the good cards today, Leo. Ace of Cups even. And a Knight of Pentacles. So this is, I think this is all happening very quickly. We've got the Knight of Wands, fire on fire. This is rush. This is urgency. This is kind of saying like, you see all of this happening all at once and it seems like you're getting carried away, like the horse is just running away with you. Okay, and I think that it feels that way. I feel like this is a situation that is naturally reaching its end, the end of its life, right? The contract is over. Your obligation to that is over. Could be a family thing, could be a marriage, it could be some responsibility, some commitment, could be a job, a contract, whatever. It could be your time at school, it could be a sentence that you are having to fulfill, okay? The point is that it's coming to an end. And the point is that it feels like it's a rush It feels like it's suddenly upon you, and it's here, and all these things are swirling around, and it's really, it feels a little bit chaotic. But really, it is for the best. It is the way for you to get a return to these blissful days, to these wonderful, wonderful, good days. And we got all these knights here. We got the Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. And that really is an unstoppable energy. This is a situation that is unstoppable. You've got no choice but to hang on. Hold the reins, let the horse take you away. This is kind of the unstoppable part of you, that watery, kind of intuitive, soulful part of you, where there is this creativity, there's this love in you that is unstoppable, that now is just, it's coming out. This is like you're getting out of a situation and now you can be yourself, right? You're getting out of that contract. The contract is over. Now you can take the shirt and tie off and you can just be you. You can put on your, casual clothes, let's say. And you can just express yourself. You can be who you are. This is really allowing you that kind of freedom of expression, right? Freedom to really love and pursue those things, again, that have meaning and value to you. The Knight of Cups is all about the giving and receiving of energy, of love, of affection, of kindness, of creativity. This is you wanting to create things and give things away as gifts, right? This is where you really let your true nature out in this very compassionate and almost emotional expression of your soul. Yeah. And that's how we're creating the Six of Cups, right? That sense of community, that sense of really being where you belong, really having this this deep emotional bond with people, right? And we see that here with the Empress too. And these three cards are very, very much connected, especially these two. You are now worshiping at the altar of your true love rather than this kind of formal thing that you were committed to. Now you're free to pursue this life that you want. The Empress is in the position of your environment. And you now have this freedom to create your world according to your heart's delight, right? You're able to now mold your environment to pursue that kind of life, to live that best life in a way that is true to your spirit and soul. Whatever this is out of place, right? This is very stuffy, very formal, very rigid. And all of this is flowing. All of this is flowing and manifesting water and earth, right? Water and earth is just beautiful. Let's select the mystery card. This is a bonus card. This is a confirmation card. It's going to go right over here. Tiny Bob Ross right on top. I'm not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and that card's going to give us the confirmation that we need, right? If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. We're going to do it together. It's an interactive exercise of intuition. All right. Now let's take a look around at our major arcana. We've got interesting progression with the majors, right? I'm going to try not to get things too out of order here. This is where we're coming from. This is the transition, right? This is transformation. This situation, this commitment, this contract, this bond, whatever this promise was, whatever this, whatever we had committed ourselves to or married ourselves to, or whatever we were involved with in that kind of professional or contractual way, is transforming now into this blissful, creative, more artistic, more emotional. This is business, this is art, right? This is professional, this is personal. This is very formal, and this is very, very casual, right? And they seem like opposites. But I think this was a necessary part of things for you. This was something that you had to do. This was maybe you're transitioning from that kind of really intense business career life, and that transition, now you're kind of in, maybe this is a retirement thing. Now you're transitioning into a life that is more artistic, that's more free, that's more open, that's more focused on relationships and feelings and creativity than on formal, logical business, right? This is you, like maybe you were a lawyer, now you're an artist, right? And it feels like two different lives. Yeah. But the world card here, the universe, this is you creating the kind of world that you truly want, that is part of your essence, that is really an expression of who you are at this time, right? So this is a nice progression. I like that very, very, very much. Now we'll put these back where we found them. That goes there, that goes there. All right, so we've got our majors. We've got a little bit of fire. We've got some good water energies. We don't have any swords cards. We don't have any actual air energy, except for the Justice card. This is a Libra card. This is some air energy. And it's the only air we really have got, right? And then we've got, of course, some earth here and here. The universe card, world card, that's some earth energy too. This is kind of the idea of you feel that there's no limits on what you can achieve now. There's no boundaries for you anymore. This is living a life over here that is very rigid, very much according to the rules. And then this over here is just, this is free. You're free to kind of create as you will. You have a certain freedom with this universe card. The boundaries have been lifted, right? I mean, and we can look at this a lot of different ways. Maybe this was a sentence. Maybe this was you on like probation or something, right? And then this is you now, you're free. This is where you can't travel. You have to stay in the county. Now, no, you can do anything you want, right? I'm not saying that's what it is, but maybe there's something like that here. This is a limitation, right? This is somebody else telling you what you can and cannot do. And then this, of course, those boundaries being lifted. And I think that this has been something that's been in, I'm getting chills. This is something that's been in the works for a while. Again, the death card kind of is a gradual thing. It's something that takes a while to really be completed. So I feel like this is a long-term thing that's been going on, but now rapid changes. Rapid changes. This is something that's now set in motion. There's no taking it back. There's no turning around. No one's going to take it away from you now, right? The ball is rolling. Things are in motion, and it's going to happen quick, okay? And just remember this unstoppable feeling, this fire energy in all of these cards. This is fire of water, fire of fire, fire of earth, okay? And it's very important with the court cards to understand the elemental configuration of these. These are all fiery cards. This one is the fire of your will, right? Just putting your intention into getting this situation over and done and going through this, what I think is a rapid transition, where this all kind of happens. You've been waiting. Now suddenly all at once this is happening. And then this really is that fire of your emotional life, of your passion, of your creativity that just, you can't contain it anymore. It's a joy that just cannot be silenced, right? And then of course with the fire of your earthly life, this is the vision of the future. Now you're realizing that your future is just beginning. Your life is just beginning and it's unlimited. The Knight of Pentacles is the card that has the vision of the future self, of the future life, right? You have a long-term plan now, right? And at the beginning, it may just be a whirlwind of excitement and joy and relief and all these emotions going on. But then it really starts to kind of calm down and you start to realize, hey, okay, I've got plans. I've got a month plan. I've got a year plan. I've got a 5-year, a 10-year plan. The possibilities are endless. Yeah. You're really unstoppable now. I think whatever this was stopping you. And now you are unstoppable. Okay? It really is a fascinating transition here. The Six of Cups that I love this card because this is that kind of, these are those good days. You know, these are like those moments, those holy moments that we remember from our past. That's like, that was the best time of my life. That was the greatest day. It's kind of a memory of those peak experiences where we just felt blissful and tranquil. The best days that we can remember. Where everything was just perfect. Everything was just beautiful in that moment. Well, this is coming back. This is what you're creating again. These aren't just memories from a life long ago that we kind of long to get back to. We wish we could go back. No, this now is the promise of the future. That you can have more of these blissful moments. These are the really good days. We have those kinds of days like from childhood where we think, man, that was so perfect back then. And it might just be part of our memory, right? We're remembering things to be a lot better than they were, perhaps. But this card is about those moments where we felt a certain holiness of life, right? And you know the feeling I'm talking about. It's that blissful holiness. It's that magical moment where it seems like everything is perfect and it seems like you are just you have this connection. This card is about connection, right? You feel that connection with the universe, with God, goddess, deity, with spirit, with your soul, with the world, with nature, with whatever, right? And it's blissful. It feels like a union with the divine, right? Remember the feeling. It doesn't really matter so much what you were doing. I mean, it does in a way, because we then begin to try to recreate that feeling. Well, we can't go back in time. You can't do the same things that you used to do to get this kind of sense of connection or this holiness. But we can find new ways, and by remembering how we created those moments in the past, we can figure out what's going to work now in the present to bring about this feeling. Okay? And I think this is the work for you right now, is to focus on creating these moments, creating this blissful connection with the universe. Yeah. And I think this is where rituals come in, because we remember that time in our life where we had that connection. What were we doing in that time in our life? Maybe we were, maybe we had less responsibilities. Maybe we were being more creative. Maybe that's when we were really into painting, or we were really focused on our spiritual work or certain activities. Well, we can turn those into rituals, and we can start doing those similar things now until we find that right combination of activities that really work, that click, right? And we have this kind of thing again. So I feel like that's what the Knight of Cups is. It's us finding those rituals again that really give us this sense of connection. And I think the connection here, this was like the commitment. It's almost like you had to go into the business world, the career world. And so a lot of this kind of inner bliss and this connection and this holiness kind of got limited in a way. Or it feels like we were in this earthly business professional kind of life, and there was no room for creativity or for spirituality or religion or whatever you want to call it. Okay. And now we're seeing this transition where we're really getting back into it. We're remembering those things that can bring about this sense of holiness. Now, it doesn't mean that it's the exact same activities, but we have to understand the idea of ritual. The ritual kind of, it commemorates those moments that we've had. It celebrates something from the past. We turn those into ceremonies, right? We turn those into actual magical practices that can then bring that sense of holiness down into our lives again. Okay? And it might be very similar activities, right? But we have to figure out, and it's through this unstoppable water energy, where we experiment with different techniques and different practices to bring that sense of holiness and connection back. And I think this is your work right now, and this is what you're striving for. Yeah. Once we get through this transition, I think this is where our focus is, on creating this kind of magic and this sense of holiness again. Yeah. Through ritual and ceremony, and discovering the magical formula that will invoke that energy into your life. It's really a wonderful thing. We see the Nine of Pentacles as well. This is a way, you are gaining a lot from this transition. This is a loss, yes, but not really. It's really a gain. Okay? You're getting out of this. Maybe this is a job, a contract, a marriage, or something that's big. It's reached the end of its life. Okay? This is really a big opportunity for you to increase the value and the meaning and this sense of holiness and bliss and connection and community, the sense of belonging. All of these things are wrapped up into this period of time in your life. The Nine of Pentacles is not always financial gain. I mean, it is. I think that you're free now to pursue those things, those ways of making money that are a more pure expression of yourself. You know, you're able to support yourself doing what you love. Yeah. But this is also a gain in other ways, a gain of meaning and value in your life. The things that you do, the experiences that you have, mean so much more to you now than the experiences in the past. They had their own benefits. I'm not trying to discount whatever this was. It had its own purpose and meaning and value, but this is old. This is no longer serving the function that it needs. So this is something that naturally has to kind of end. There's nothing wrong with it, right? This was perfectly useful for what it was in its own time, but now life is progressing, right? All these changes are happening. And we've got to focus on these changes and the present and the future, and we can still appreciate the past, what this situation was, what this period of time in your life was, what this relationship or contract, was and what it meant to you. It has its own value, all right? And I'm not trying to take away from that. We're focused on the future now and how much more value and meaning we're gaining, looking forward. And that's what this card does. It looks forward. Let's go to the path of the serpent now. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, I think it would be a good idea. It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free. And I'll be able to send you notifications when new readings come out. All right. We talked about the world or universe card a little bit, and that really is the lifting of restrictions. There's no boundaries anymore. There's no one telling you where you can and cannot go. That kind of relates to this card a little bit, and for whatever exactly were the parameters of that situation or that period of time. Those restrictions are gone. Now we're kind of free to move about the universe. And this card is also really about finding our place in that universe. You're finding your little corner of the world, and you're finding like a little blank area on the canvas of the universe, the fabric of the universe, and that's where you're going to paint your picture. It reminds me of that thing they had on Reddit. Remember that, where there's like everybody can draw whatever they wanted on the pixels of this really huge banner thing. I don't know what it was, and so you would just go there and find a little space that hadn't been colored in yet, and you'd zoom in and you draw whatever you wanted on those pixels, and then it'd zoom out and you see the whole kind of mosaic of things. Well, that's what this card is all about. You finding out what part of the mosaic you are. This is a huge cosmic quilt, and you're just kind of sewing your piece into it. Yeah. You got to find a little section that doesn't belong to anybody, and you go and you paint your life there. And you figure out what you want to do and what you are contributing to this huge cosmic mosaic or this cosmic quilt, And that's really a wild idea, right? I mean, it could be anything you want. It's very subjective. It doesn't have to be good or bad, or, it doesn't have to make money, or it doesn't have to be meaningful or valuable to anybody else except you. It's your piece of the quilt. It's your piece of this mosaic. And you paint it or color it or build it however you want. And that's the kind of freedom that we're talking about here. And that's what the Empress is. This is in the environment. This is how you are going to create your environment. This is your piece of the quilt that you're sewing into the fabric of the universe. And so this card's very subjective. What does home mean? What does comfort mean? What does beauty mean to you? What does love, what does affection mean to you? What does meaning mean to you? What does value mean to you? Very subjective. But this is what we want in the environment, and this is now your freedom to create the environment that you want. To create the kind of life that brings you that feeling of holiness or beauty or bliss or joy or whatever whatever word you want to use to describe that feeling, that thing. This is very subjective, right? And of course, we move up to the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is kind of the the obstacle, right? And there's always a challenge when we feel like we've got to start over. We've got to start something new. Yeah. And it's hard, I think, when we look at it that way, that it's something has ended and now we have to start over. We have to start something again, right? That's the difficult thing. The first step is always like, you have your blank canvas and you got your paintbrush and you're like, I don't even know what color to choose first. I don't know where to put my first brush stroke. I don't know what to do, right? Because we're looking at everything as being separate. We're making a distinction between that life and now there's this transition and now there's this thing I have to start. It's an ending and a beginning. Well, those are false distinctions. There's no endings. There's no beginnings. It's all a flow. This is not the start of something new. This is the continuation of something else. It might look different. And yeah, maybe you're in a different corner of this cosmic quilt and you've got to pick a color and start painting or sewing or whatever you do with a quilt. But it's not, it really depends on how we look at it. It seems daunting when it's just like, okay, all that stuff is over. Now I've got to start from scratch. I've got to start from zero. Well, we're not really starting from zero, are we? Because there's no beginning, there's no end. So 0 and 1, those are just kind of different ways of looking at the same energy. It just depends on perspective. And that's why with the aces, I always try to bring up the idea that the aces aren't necessarily the beginning of something. They could be the end of something. This isn't maybe the first step on the path. Maybe this is the last step. Maybe this is us getting to the summit of the mountain. Maybe the 10s are the first step, and then we're kind of going backwards up to the ace, and this is us summiting Mount Everest, you know? I try to always bring that up because I want to illustrate that it just depends on what side of the thing you're on and how you're looking at it. So it feels daunting. That's my point, is that when we feel like we're just kind of, we're cut off from this situation is done and over. Now we got to start from scratch, from zero, starting from nothing. Well, we're not. And if it's easier for you to look at it as a continuation, that this was one particular, landscape, right? You're driving in a car. You get through a particular stretch of land, or you're driving across the United States or something, and you get you go by the Salt Lakes. Okay, that's good. And now you're into whatever state is next. You're going to go into like Wyoming or something. It's a different landscape. It's not necessarily a new journey. You're not starting over from scratch somewhere else. It's a continuation. But yeah, I'm done with the Salt Lakes. Now I'm moving to the next part of the adventure. And I think that's kind of, and with the death card too, I think it's important for us to realize that it's not just like, it's not so, that there's no actual boundaries of things. Nothing actually starts or stops. Everything is a circle. Everything is a spiral or a sphere. Every point is the beginning and the end. It's really just depending on how we look at it. So the Ace of Cups here is that continuation of your spirit journey, your soul's journey here. You're not starting over from nothing. You have all of this life already accumulated, all this experience already in you. It's a continuation of your life, maybe in a new place, maybe in, a different frame of mind or in a different landscape, or you're using some different paintbrushes now, some different colors. Yeah. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, of course, is that vision. You can see what your mosaic, what that part of the quilt is going to look like. And now it's just a matter of building on it. This is, again, the card that has the vision of the future. You can see now, like you can see in your mind's eye, your spiritual vision, what your picture looks like, what your life looks like, what your environment, what your home, what your world looks like. And then from that point, it's really just a matter of doing the work, working up to it, getting it going, right? I kind of want to see a Prince of Pentacles for the mystery card. That'd be the builder. Kind of want to see that. Maybe some air energy, right, to give us the plan, right? Because the Knight of Pentacles has the vision. Vision needs to become a plan. The plan needs to become action. So we'll see what we get. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. Oh, High Priestess. Very cool. The High Priestess is us going through these pylons, these two pillars of duality, black and white, beginning and ending, starting and stopping, right? We're going right through the middle. And when we go through the middle, what do we see behind the High Priestess? If we follow Spirit, in between the pairs of opposites, what do we see back there, those pomegranates? That's the Empress. Not so much in the Thoth deck, but if we saw the Empress in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the pomegranates behind the High Priestess look an awful lot like the robe of the Empress. So your best life, your vision of beauty and perfection is waiting for you in between these opposites. There is no beginning, there is no ending, there is no starting and stopping. It's just the flow of energy. And that's the Death card too. Because the Death card is all about the continual change. Nothing is ever static, remember? This is the perfect confirmation. It's telling you to follow your bliss, follow Spirit. Follow your intuition, follow your gut, follow your heart. Saw no swords here. Nothing for you to deliberate about. Nothing to figure out. It's just for you to feel out. Yeah, feel it out. Beautiful energy. Really, really, really wonderful. We're going to do an extended reading. And if you would like to watch, there's a link in the corner or there's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Leo every Tuesday and Saturday. I am here every day. You can come see me again tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.